Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend. We're just taking a quick look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We haven't gotten that pullback quite yet as expected. 60,000 is holding fairly well, but we're just kind of averaging ourselves out of that point of control. A lot of accumulation at 60,500 as a close approximate. So what we want to look at here, first of all, you got to recognize weekends. Going to see a significantly tapered amount of volume. It's very, very low considering the majority of the week. So I don't like to trade over the weekends. Some people don't like that I don't like to do that, and that's fine. That's all well and good. But generally speaking, there's some days you may just want to either avoid or just kind of consider alternatives. But no matter how you look at it, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at Bitcoin's liquidation levels. I just refreshed the screen here, and this is the last 30 days on the right and last 7 days on the left. So in the last 7 days, ever since we topped out roughly 2 days ago at 62,600, we've seen a significant amount of liquidation levels occur here at about 63K. Okay, so we've got a lot of people shorting Bitcoin, which makes perfect sense. A lot of these are high leverage shorts, and we got some lower leverage shorts of about 67,000. We took some profits ourselves from short trades with Bitcoin here recently. So just to quickly give perspective there, 0.5% in 21 hours there. And our Premium Plus group has been looking pretty good here too. We got Matic BNB shorts, Matic ETH, as well as XRP. So again, congrats to our community for that. But what I want to look at here though is just kind of the bigger picture. We can see 70,500 is that massive amount of liquidation. There's like probably about 30, 40 billion liquidation just above that level. So keep in mind, those are some very profitable shorts. Again, they were much more profitable at 50,000, but for some reason they're still open. Weird, huh? How can you not secure profits from 70 to 50,000 on a Bitcoin short? Either way, that is still present, so just know that's the thing. And when we take a look here at the last, I guess we'll start with the daily. No, you know what? Let's go with the weekly here because we're getting close to the weekly close. Generally speaking, weekends are, again, they're weird sometimes. Like we get we've had some crazy weird volatile weekends last couple weekends, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see something weird here. But the key takeaway here is that so far our weekly candle's looking pretty solid. That's kind of a hammer up doji type of candle. Essentially it's closing higher than it's opened. Essentially that's kind of the goal. Again, premature, yes, absolutely. Weekly candlestick still has another day and a half left, but just know we're favorable in that regard. On the weekly time frame, we do take a look here at the weekly. We're holding this 50 level on the RSI. That's also important. Okay, so breaking down below that would be unfortunate, but as you can see here, stochastic is swinging down and MACD is still diverging. So we're not in like a phenomenal situation on the weekly as far as momentous indicators. We're kind of just holding the line. If we take a look at the moving averages on the weekly, we can see here. If we shift gears a little bit, we can see that we are above majority of the moving averages minus the 20. Okay, being back up over that 20-day SMA is going to be big. It's going to be a big deal for us. But the key takeaway here is we bounced pretty soundly off that $50,000 mark. That's where the 50-day SMA is on the weekly. So me personally, being above the 50-day SMA on any time frame is generally a favorable sign, and specifically on the weekly. So I'd say we're slightly more favorable on the larger term time frames. We do take a look at the moving averages on the daily. Not so good. We got every single moving average above the price action, holding the price in place. 61,800 is that key level resistance that we can see holding strong. If we do take a look here, of course, as well, we can see we're kind of right there at 50 on the RSI, but still haven't broken through. And that's an important thing to recognize because, again, getting over that level, to me personally, would be a much better situation, more confidence in taking a long. I think we're going to have to be at like 63K or higher in order to see that. And with all these moving averages here, I don't really see that happening. My personal opinion is we're going to see Bitcoin still pull back a little bit to these lower fib levels, 59.5, 57.5 as a rough estimate for the next key supports. We do have a MACD convergence here slowly forming, which basically just implies that if we can continue to maintain this range for a few more days, we'll probably naturally see the price continue higher because obviously the short sellers are going to be running out of juice. Okay, that's generally what we're looking at. So with the 4-hour time frame though, this is our transitionary time frame. We can still see that we're decent. We're in good shape. I mentioned this last night too when I analyzed this again. You can kind of see being over 50, under 70, that's a favorable sign. Same thing occurs here with stochastics pulling back. We're seeing that momentous shift. But it doesn't mean that just because stochastics pulling back or the MACD starts to diverge, it doesn't mean it's going to drop. It just implies that we're kind of reaching our top. And unless we leg up soon, then there is more potential for pullback. Okay. And all that having said, though, the 4-hour time frame, we look at that and we compare that with the moving averages. We're kind of smack dab in the middle here, so we're not really like in a really great place. I do not like to trade right at a specific point of control. Basically, shorting into this or taking a long into it doesn't make a ton of sense right now, especially being a weekend. So if you're kind of itchy, you got an itchy trigger finger, consider an altcoin. Maybe just go with SUI to the moon, right? As some people would say. There's a lot of coins that are doing well, but for the most part, not a lot of awesome trades this weekend here so far from what I've seen. Now we take a look at the hourly. Let's quickly note a couple of things here. Ichimoku Cloud, we can recognize that we're, first of all, our lagging span is within the price action. That's generally construed as a situation in which you do not take a trade, right? Just like Bollinger Bands, when it starts to compress, you don't take a trade until it breaks out or tests either side of the band. In this case, we haven't done any of those things yet. We haven't broken out. We've mostly gone sideways for the last 24 to 40 hours, and that's generally not good conditions to trade into. You basically flip a coin, and you can anticipate which way it's going to go. When we look at everything else, though, honestly, there's still more divergences than the price action more likely to increase. So to me personally, I think we're less likely to see the price go up than down. But on the same accord, there is a lot of motivation with this $63,000 liquidation event that could occur. Just know if that doesn't happen now, it could and should happen later. So the price does pull back. We got to pay attention to see if we honor this ascending trend line or not, because that's going to be a big deal breaker there. Again, a lot of times the price will come back down. It'll retest the ascending trend line and then continue lower. So this is a perfect place for a short. And this is also a good consideration for a long, depending on if we even get there, which it looks like that window of opportunity is kind of closing. So we could very well see the price action perform something along these lines here. But I think that's a little bit of a tall order, especially on the weekend. But hey, stranger things can happen, right, folks? So again, just be careful in how you trade right now. This is not like perfect conditions whatsoever. I mean, it's rarely perfect, but it's certainly not conducive to a favorable trade or a trade that you can take knowing that you probably are going to go where you want it to go. Okay, it's too tight for me. These margins aren't worthwhile, and I'm going to avoid taking a trade this weekend. Good news is we are super close to our Aave short. I think we have a take profit about low $93 range. We're in that short there from 98.5. So that's looking pretty good. So folks, just keep our shorts open here at this point. I think we're going to be in good shape. If you're going to consider trading anything to the upside, just make sure you be very careful right now. It's not really a long market considering we're mostly topped out for the moment. Okay. All right, folks, I'll get some more information. I'll post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, and we'll go ahead and get this on over to you here shortly. Thanks again so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you again soon. Take care.